Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to have Mystik here live with me. Woo! So I see a couple of people coming on. I've been gone for a little bit, but I'm back. And September, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be back for September because not only is September Sexual Health Month, but it's my birthday month. So I'm going to be celebrating all month long. September is special to me, not only because it's my birth month, but because it's Oshun's birth month. Oshun, the Orisha. Oshun is, if you guys listen to Beyonce, then you know who Oshun is. And Oshun is my Orisha. She is the Orisha, the goddess of fertility, of sexuality, of love, and it's no surprise that she's my Orisha, right? So it's also her birth month. September 8th is the celebration for Oshun. So I'm so excited. And let me go ahead and introduce Mystik. So Mystik is a ghetto bougie goddess. You see that goddess around her? You know what? Let me not say ghetto. I'm going to change that up. She's a bougee goddess who began their intentional self-love journey when they discovered the power of self-touch. Self-touch helped Mystik reclaim their body, which little to their knowledge would serve as a pathway to addressing their shadows. Mystik now emerges as a love doula who is passionate about decolonial approaches to love and to model and be in community with Black folks who want to practice and learn about the pathways to pleasure and, most importantly, love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy.
Hi, thank you for having me. So it's also my birth month too. What are you, a Virgo or?
I'm a Virgo.
Okay, so I'm a Libra, so I'm at the end of the month. So,
end of the month. All right. Yes, so September. This is even more of a special month. Both of our birth months.
Yes, so excited. Yes. It's my 30th. I turned 30. So I'm like, oh yes, by 20s, because they was real ghetto. So I'm ready for more, I don't know, more love, more healing, more all of that for my 30s. So I'm excited.
Yes, I could be your mama. I ain't gonna say my age. No, I'm okay with saying my age. Tamika, another Virgo in the house, Virgo season. So we got these September, all three of us September birthdays.
Hey.
Yes. So you know what? I'm okay to say my age. I'm about to be 47 in a couple of weeks.
There you go.
And I'm looking good, and I'm feeling good. Yes. Yes, Phil. Yes, I'm glad to be back. I'm having fun. So as you guys are coming on, say hello. Let us know you're here. I know everybody's like, ooh, they're gonna be talking about masturbation. So, Mystik, happy early birthday, ladies. Thank you, Veronica. So, Mystik.
Yes.
So, we're going to be talking about how masturbation is a pathway to healing. Mm-hmm. And we decided on this topic because you shared your story and it was so amazing. So tell us, how did masturbation help to heal you? And this is how you kind of got started in the work that you do, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So let me back up and just tell y'all a little bit about me and just a little bit about my life story and how I even got where I'm at. So I'm from East Oakland, and I grew up interestingly. I grew up between like two polarly opposite experiences, right? Where I was like, grew up with privilege, right? There was like my grandmother, she helped support me and take care of me. But then I also was like emerged around a lot of death and trauma. And my father was in prison in my entire life. And so like many Black folks, nobody talked to me about sex. Nobody talked to me about boundaries. Nobody talked to me about my body being mine and belonging to me first, and that it was important for me to cultivate an understanding of my body, right? Because my grandmother didn't know that. My mother certainly didn't know that. And I went through life like many Black girls do, where I learned to use sex as a sort of way to get people to love me and to like me, and to try to
You know,
connect to people,
you
right?
know what? I want to say, I know I don't want to cut you off, sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
but that's so important that you said that,
Mhm.
and I grew up that same way.
Mhm.
My family, I come from a very conservative Haitian family,
Mhm.
Haitian Catholic family, and we never talked about sex. And that was my big thing as well, that led me to doing the work that I did because I was seeking some type of fulfillment, something to
Yeah.
fill me up. And I was having sex with people for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And after I would have sex and I would leave and I would feel empty. I would
Hella.
be so empty inside. And
Yeah.
I know that so many women go through that, and I'm speaking for women because I'm a woman, so I don't know what men go through. And I would love to hear for the men as well, because we're talking about masturbation and we're talking about sexuality for everyone, whatever your gender is, however you identify, this is important. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to add that on, because I know a lot of people go through that,
Yeah.
so continue.
Absolutely. Yeah. So many of us are, um, in search of connection and intimacy, right? But again, we live in a culture, especially as Black people, where, and I'm always careful with how I say this because I have a lot of critiques about how academia talks about hypersexualization of Black people, but nevertheless, we do live in a culture where I think that sex is put so much in our face, and then we don't learn intimacy, we don't learn love, we don't learn boundaries. And so I utilize the only sort of tool that I had, a resource that I had, to be able to connect with boys and men. And so just like you, I would have sex and I was like, this is not giving, honey. I know that this ain't what the movies is talking about and what everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew on a soul level that it was something so much more deeper. And so after going through different partners and just having my life and my body just hella disrespected and uncared for, I was just like, I'm tired and I don't want nothing to do with men. Like I'm over
Mhm.
it. And so especially because I started to develop a negative understanding of men. And so I was like, well, I can't have the kind of relationships that I really want to have with brothers with this kind of mentality that I'm walking away with. So it's best for me to just step away from them because I don't think I'm gonna be of service to them either. And so I just developed this masturbation practice where I just bought a bunch of toys and I
Mhm.
stopped focusing on dating, and I learned as much as I could about masturbation. And it was wonderful, and it was and it's a part of my life now. And I'm like, even once I get into a healthy relationship, it's still gonna be, my partner is gonna have to share me with me because you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. That's going to be a part of my, my regimen. So
Right.
yeah.
So, and how was it for you when you decided? So you decided, okay, I'm done with men.
Hmm.
Let me just connect to my body.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because I know for me, the first time I masturbated consciously, it was hard. Like I went down to touch myself and I was like, this is nasty. Like it just didn't feel good to me.
Yeah.
Um, and I think because I had all of this guilt inside of me, there was just guilt and like I'm doing something wrong. I should be ashamed of this. And this is why, guys, this is why I do this, these lives, because we need to get rid of this guilt. We need to get rid of the stigma, all of the negativity that's attached to sexuality, to sex, to masturbation, because this is a normal part of us. Babies have been shown, fetuses in their mother's womb have been shown to touch themselves. It's shown
Hmm.
on sonograms, right? So even as a little child, even as a fetus in the womb of our mother, we're touching ourselves. And
Yeah.
then you come out, you're a little child. Little boys are playing with their little penis, and girls are touching, or maybe they rub something and they're like, "Ooh, that felt good," and then they kind of grind. It's a natural thing. And so for me, the first time that I tried to masturbate, first, I didn't even have anything to like learn how to do it. You know, we didn't have the internet at that time. Remember, I'm like 47, right about to be 50. So we didn't have the computer that time. We didn't have cell phones that time. You know, we didn't have the wealth of information that we have today. And even with the wealth of information we have today, there's a lot of people that's not accessing this information.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, so how was that for you when you said, okay, I'm done with the men? And I've been there too. I'm like, I'm just done. And then started masturbating. At first, was it just, did it feel wrong? Did it feel nasty? Like, what did it feel like for you?
So let me back you up. So the reason why I giggle when you talked about, you know, being a little girl and you rub up against something, I laugh because honestly, if I go back, I think really masturbation and self-touch really is what I like to say is something that, like you say, we've always in some way, right, practice, right? And then because we're discouraged or not encouraged to continue with that, we sort of disconnect from that. Because I remember as a kid riding a bike and being like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? You hit up against something. Now I'm like, I want to ride my bike all the time, but not for reasons that I want to tell y'all for, you know. So it's like, so definitely connecting back to that memory that's already in the body, like pleasure is already stored in the body. But I think when I started developing my intentional practice, it was great for me because, you know, I had already came from dealing with just so much disrespect and disregard of my body that I participated in as well, right? Like, I'm not blaming other people. I invited people into disrespect and disregard my body because I didn't know how to care for it, right? So to go from that, to me, anything was better than that. So I didn't feel no type of way about the actual practice. What I did have shame around was when I was first developing my practice and utilizing porn and like watching like queer porn. So watching a lot of like, you know, girl on girl action and then really tapping into, you know, other parts of my sexuality, right? And so it was just like, and I'm feeling kind of ashamed more so about that aspect of it, right? Where it was like, okay, wait a minute now, you know, like, you know, do I like women? Do I not like women? You know, what does this mean? Really trying to understand that. I had to unpack a lot of shame around that. But the actual like touching my pussy, no. I'm like, we good to go, you know. So
yeah. So I want to say, you know, as people are coming on, you know, I'd love for this to be interactive. I want for you, if you have any questions, if you want to just share about your masturbation experience, we'd love to hear that.
Absolutely.
So if you have a masturbation practice, no matter what your gender is, type masturbate in the comments. I want to see. And then if you have any questions, you know, let me know. And that's interesting because, you know, and this is why I like talking with different people, because each person is going to have a different experience, right? So for me, it was touching. For you, it was looking at girl on girl porn. And, you know, porn never did anything for me. It's so interesting. But I never, you know, I don't think I ever really watched girl on girl. I'll say when I was younger. I remember I had a friend who I would always go over to his place and he would put some porn on and he would be watching it. And it did absolutely nothing for me. I was like, why is he putting this on? I guess he was trying to put it on for some reason to kind of get me stimulated so we could do something. But he was like my boy. And so, you know, we never talked about anything. We never did anything. I would just go over there. He would have it on and I would watch it. I'd be like, okay, why you got this on? Can you change it to something else?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I actually have one of my first little toys here. So I want to show that. I had this little rabbit.
Yes, the rabbit, child. Yes.
This became my best friend, right?
Okay.
And although I had a difficult time using my hands, you know, this thing right here, this playing on the clit, it was like, I was like, ooh, like, oh my God. It was amazing. It was amazing.
That was my first toy too. Like, it was a jackrabbit, and I was like, so I was like, I couldn't feel no shame. I was like, shit. I was like, that rocked my whole world. I was like, wow. So yeah, that toy forever goes down in history. I don't have it anymore because I kept breaking mine. And it, so I don't have it anymore, but honestly, it's, oof, child, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they don't build toys to last for a long time unless we just use the hell out of it. Because so this is not my actual first one, but it's the first one like that I use. This is like the second or third of this. I have many different ones, but it's interesting, that just really did it. And I do want to say a lot of people are just worried about masturbating with toys. And so they think that you're going to become too sensitive, you're not going to feel pleasure anymore. I don't necessarily agree with that or have experienced that with myself or my clients.
Right.
But what I do have to say is you have to mix it up.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to use this every time I masturbate. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use my hands. I have crystal dildos that I use. This is rose quartz. This is amethyst. And so I'm also doing healing. And we're going to go more into the healing work, right? So when I use the crystal stones, I have my Satisfier Pro.
Yes.
My house, y'all gonna be like, oh my God. So
you got all my favorites.
Yes. And then this is great because this stimulates the inside. It also strengthens your 3 vaginal rings, right? And so I also use this with doing my intimate gymnastics, my Kegels. So this is really good to do your contracting. So not only am I using these different toys to masturbate and just have a whole lot of pleasure, but it's part of the healing journey.
Absolutely.
So real quick, I only saw one person put masturbate. Come on now. But everybody that's on here is only one person that masturbate. And if that's the case, those of you who's on here and don't, I want to hear from you. Why don't you masturbate? What's your difficulty? What's the challenge with it?
So I see a question here that I want to answer. First, I want to say hey to Tamika. Hi, Tamika. I met Tamika at a retreat that she done, and it was wonderful. So I want to say hi to Tamika.
Nice, love it. Yes. Tamika does meek retreats, silent retreats in California, in Costa Rica. She got one coming up in Morocco. So look, if you guys want a silent self-realization retreat with some great cultural stuff and some healing work, Tamika is the one to go to.
Absolutely.
Yes, I've been on life changing for me as well in California. So I actually facilitated a couple workshops, but then also participated, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was in California in a month of September, both of our birthday months.
Okay, yes. Yes, love Tamika. Okay, so this question here says, how did I navigate that? So I'm assuming they're asking about like the girl on girl porn. So to be honest with you, I don't think that I quite accepted that my attraction to women until I fell in love with a woman and dated a woman. It took for me to have to really engage with that in real life, right? And not just through an imaginative or fantasy, lens, but like I had to really experience what it was like to care for a woman and to love a woman beyond like sisterhood. You know what I mean? And that's what really helped me come to terms with that part of myself. And that was just recently, maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, just to add on to that, society just causes so much shame and guilt. Like there's something wrong with woman on woman, man on man. Honestly, sexuality is on a continuum, right? Yeah. So yeah, I just noticed my nails are kind of matching my dress when I did this. So sexuality is along a continuum, right? There's very few people who are completely 100% straight on both of these ends, right? Majority of the people are along the middle of the continuum.
Right.
But people won't admit, a lot of people have shame or guilt. And I think honestly, all of these names, all of these, what do you call it? Like, I, uh, names, let's just say with that. There was another word that I'm trying to think of, but that's not coming to my head. To identify you, I think we just need to get rid of all of that. You
Yeah,
know, we are who we are. Like, we shouldn't have to say, I'm straight, I'm gay, I'm, um, I'm bisexual, I'm queer. Like, we shouldn't have to say that. You love who you love. You know,
absolutely.
maybe one minute you're going to be with someone who identifies as a woman or someone who identifies as a man. And another minute, you might want something completely different, you know? And
Right.
so I think that we just, at some point, that's going to be the evolutionary process where we're like, okay, let's get rid of these labels is the word I was looking for.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think too, just to, again, I'm just responding back to the goddess imagined tarot and yoga. So when you say you don't feel attracted to women, again, I still think it's something worth unpacking, right? Because attraction there's a plethora of ways that we can be attracted to people, right? You can be romantically attracted to people. You can be just sexually attracted to people, right? You can have an attraction to somebody's intelligence, right? And that's it. It is nothing other than you just like conversating with them, right? So there's a lot of different ways that you can be attracted to people. So I think it's still worth unpacking and maybe even journaling about why is it that you do feel attracted to or want to watch girl on girl porn. And I see here you said that because it's more gentle, right? But even going further, unpacking that even more so, right? So again, just I would do a lot of journaling with that if I were you, to try to identify what the root is and what it is that I'm really looking for. Because you may like women, you may you may not, you never know. Or you might like one, you might meet a woman that you might like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So yeah.
And I think exploration is key. So I like that what you're saying about journaling, you know. And I get it too, because I think that was the thing that I didn't like about regular porn.
Yeah.
And it is actually interesting because later on, I have watched woman on woman and became a little bit more turned on with that. And I think the thing is what she's saying, it's more gentle. Like a lot of times, you know, I posted a video on my Instagram as well as Facebook with that man who was like showing how to have
Yes,
sex.
I saw
Like,
that. Yes.
rolling his hips, you know. And I think that's a difference because most women don't really like that pounding and all of that. It's like so violent and so aggressive. And porn, what they're doing in porn, traditional porn or that male on female porn, is not realistic. It's not real. And so I could see how that does nothing for you, right? And it didn't.
Absolutely.
And if you have a trauma or you've been abused, maybe that might be triggering for you, you know? And so, so that's the thing, you know, and for me, for one, I'm very attracted to women. I get attracted to women, but I've never dated a woman. I've never felt any need. I have experimented with women and it didn't really do much for me. So you know, for me, I already know I've already experimented and tried. So for me, I'm like, okay, I know that my sexual attraction is for men, but I also have physical attraction for women. I flirt with women.
Right.
I flirt with men. I flirt with a lot of people. I'm just very flirtatious too.
Right.
But like, a lot of times I'll see a gorgeous woman. I'm like, oh my God, you know? So let's go back to the masturbation as you know, a healing pathway.
Right.
So, because you know, when we talk about sexuality or whatever, there's so many different things.
So many doors to walk through. So many
doors. and it's all connected. And that's the thing that Tantra means, right? I'm a Tantric practitioner, right? Or I should say Tantric therapist. And Tantric, you are a true flirt, Tamika says. And it's natural. It's so funny. Even when I was young, I was like in middle school, guys would always be like, "You flirting with me?" And I was like, "I'm not flirting with you." And it's just something that just always came out naturally. And then I had to like, okay, maybe I need to like step this down a little bit so people are not thinking I'm trying to get with them or whatever. People thinking I'm fast and everything. But I mean, I was always so different than my siblings and cousins. Like I always would wear the half shirts and I dressed here when I was a kid. But my whole family was so conservative, they would be like, you were adopted or something. But that's in my nature, right? And so going back to Tantra means everything is connected. And that's one of the things that I love about my work with Tantra. Everything is connected. And you see how sexuality leads to healing.
Yes.
Right. And so that's one of the things when you take Tantra is not a religion, but Tantra came in India. And one of the things that it said is you can reach enlightenment, you can reach a higher level of consciousness and still have sex.
Yes.
You don't have to have go become celibate to become very spiritual or to get enlightened. No. And as a matter of fact, through using your sexuality, you heal yourself.
Yes.
You can manifest things. You become more empowered. And so that's one of the things that I actually want to touch on is empowerment of masturbation. I feel like, all girls should masturbate. And, just what we were both talking earlier about the whole thing, like we would have sex with guys and, for the wrong reasons or would feel empty. And if girls would masturbate, they wouldn't go to men for the wrong reason. They wouldn't have sex for the wrong reason because they know how to please themselves. They know what feels good. They're empowered. So when they get into a relationship and they have sex, it's going to be because they're ready and they really want to and not for the wrong reasons.
Absolutely. And then also too, not using masturbation as a tool to replace men, because I've heard women say that where they're like, oh, I'm going to masturbate right now because I want to replace men. And then they go back to men and then they stop, you know what I'm saying? They stop masturbating. They stop loving on themselves. And for me, I'm like, masturbation, the reason why, or self-touch is a healing modality because it's an extension of self-love, right? We don't stop loving ourselves just because we're in community or in relationships with people, right? In fact, shit, you want to step it up when you're dealing with people, right? Because, relationships can, if we're not careful, can demand and a lot from us, can pull a lot from us, right? When you step out into community and you're dealing with people, you're dealing with energies, you know what I'm saying? You want to up your protections and your love for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So again, for me, self-touch became this opportunity for me to, like I said, reclaim my body, from experiences and from people who didn't deserve it. It gave me an opportunity to explore what I liked, what I didn't like, what felt good, what didn't feel good. I was the first person to make me squirt or to give me a squirting experience. Right? I didn't even know that I could do that until I provided that for myself. And so your confidence, like when you like shit, like I can make myself squirt. I can, right? Like automatically you feel yourself. You know what I'm saying? You feel yourself as a woman, as a feminine being, as a femme, you walk through the room like y'all can't tell me nothing, right? Because I am the facilitator of my love and of my pleasure, right? And so that when I connect with people, I'm not here trying to use you. I'm genuinely trying to connect with you. And then I can focus on if I want to connect, right? Because I'm not desperate, right? I can actually focus on if I actually want to be bothered with your ass or not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my short answer,
So Tamika says, I love to masturbate while my man is watching, such a turn on. And then Goddess imagines tarot and yoga, says the more I have sex with my mate, the more I want to masturbate. And I think those are so healthy. I love to masturbate in front of my man as well. I think it's healthy. I think it's great. And maybe there's times where he doesn't want to have sex. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get it on. Or, other times I just want to be by myself, so I think it's so healthy. It's such a healthy,
Absolutely.
So, I just want to say real quick, hello to the new people that's on here. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button, give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. This month, I'm going to be doing every week. This is Sexual Health Month. I'm going to have every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I'm going to be doing lives on sexuality. So, hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be reminded when I'm having my next live. So going back again to to just some of the healing. It's so profound, and I love what we've been talking about so far. And it's so important for people to hear. Like, the masturbation is so empowering, connects you to that feminine essence, that feminine energy. And it's so important for us as women. And I want to hear from the men too. I got a lot of women commenting. So we're talking, but I know we had some men on. I saw Phil earlier. I don't know if you're still on. My friend Alex said he was going to be watching. So if you guys are on, comment as well about what your masturbation journey has been like. Have you noticed that it's been healing for you? Anything that you want to share, or if you have any questions. And so, it's going back for me, once I got to actually masturbate with my hands, and it all started when a friend of mine started a magazine, Corset, your go-to magazines for all things sexual. And she wanted me to write for it. This was even before I started working with Tantra. And she was like, yeah, I want you to write for it. I'm like, wow. She was like, you're so sexual. I wasn't working in the field of sexuality. I was like, yeah, but I'm not an expert in this. She was like, you are, you just don't know it. I'm like, okay. So then, I wrote, like, she had this magazine, it was only for a year, I think. And so I wrote in pretty much every issue. And then I remember one issue, she wanted me to write about masturbation. And I'm like, well, shit, how am I going to write about masturbation when I still have difficulty with it? And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to masturbate because I can't write about something that I really can't do. So it was that when I knew that I was going to have to write for that article, I was like, all right, Renee, let's do this, and I, brought out my hands and I used lube. Now, I'm a very wet person. I get wet just thinking about sex. Okay. But, just when it came to the masturbating, I was like, I needed some help, and there's nothing wrong with using lube. And so I put on some lube. And I went away and I put on some really sexy music. I lit some candles, some incense, and it was just really nice. And at that time, I kind of started going into the fantasy and thinking about, certain someone that would, turn me on. And it was great. Later, one of the things that I've learned with working with Tantra is not to really fantasize too much. Not that fantasy is wrong. You can have fantasies, but you really want to connect to your body instead of being someplace else. So later, I started masturbating and I just started doing a lot of deep breathing and just connecting to my body, really feeling my body, noticing what this particular touch was doing for me, what I didn't like, what I did like. And that was really important. And one of the other things that I learned, I'll show you my other little toy, the clitoris, right? So this is our clitoris. And so for me and a lot of women that I work with, I do tantric massage. I also do virtual massages. I have women doing the massaging themselves, so I'm teaching them, and we're working through the healing process in that time. And I also have a lingam massage course coming up to teach how to do lingam massage. So that starts September 20th. But going to the clitoris, one of the things that I noticed when I would masturbate, when I would touch right here, it didn't feel good. It was like it would hurt because it was so sensitive and it was like hard to touch for me. So one of the things I started noticing, the lips, it's kind of around this, right? So you don't get to see all of this. You just see the little head of the clitoris. But when I started massaging the lips and playing with my lips first, it's also stimulating the clitoris, right? So for me, I had to start massaging and stimulating the lips. And then also, another thing that I learned, on the inner lips, between the inner lips and the entrance of the vagina, we have the Bartholin glands. And so when you massage that and you're stimulating that, it's the Bartholin glands that's responsible for your lubrication, right? So this is what makes you get wet. So for me, once I started, playing with the lips first, and then I would go to the clitoris, it was, it was already erect, because this does get erect, right? It can be
Mm-hmm.
flaccid, it can be erect, just like a penis. So then I was able to start feeling more pleasure. So I learned for me to not go directly to this. And when I give tantric massages, yoni massages to women, I don't go to this. I do a full body massage first, then I stimulate the lips before I go to this. And that's really important.
Yes.
So
I was just gonna say too, I think, and one of the reasons why I use the word self-touch versus masturbation, because masturbation, at least for me, is like a word that really brings up like genital focus. And not that there's nothing wrong with being genital focused when we're developing a self-touch practice, right? But it's also important to honor the entire body, right? Because the whole body is filled with pleasure points, right? It's like it's not just the genitals, right? Like giving a lot of attention to your breasts, you know what I mean? And I say this, I have huge titties. So for people
yes.
okay, heavy. So for people who have them, it's so very important, right? For you to massage them, for you to touch them. You know what I'm saying? For like when you get out the shower or the bath and you're lotioning up, really take time to like, feel into your body, right? And to, you know what I'm saying, massage it and love on it, right? Like all of that matters, right? When we're developing a self-touch practice, right? And so, yes, play with your pussy, play with your genitals, whatever you have, play with it, right? But again, just giving, love to the entire body is so important.
Yes. And I love that. And that's important also. I also like to say self-exploration as well, because that's important. We're really exploring the entire body. And I love that you brought that up, because it's so true. Our entire body is orgasmic. And so what happens is it goes dormant because we're not touching it. And that's one of the things I teach in my tantric massage courses, the lingam massage or the yoni massage, to massage the entire body and to like not let go, not leave any part untouched. And I can have an orgasm from you touching my head. Oh my God, this was good.
I used to be bald too, and so when I shaved my head off, I was like, whoa.
Ooh, the pleasure. Listen, when you go, it's like, ooh, I'm having an orgasm.
Yes.
Right. And so, and also just from, the feet, I can have orgasms from the feet, from my ears, like all over. Your entire body is orgasmic. So I'm glad you brought that up. And that's, and so I like that you use the self-touch, and I don't know if a lot of people know, but the breast, our nipples, there's meridians that go through the mouth to the nipples to the vagina, right? And so you have that meridian, if you look at the Chinese medicine. And so when you're stimulating the breasts, the nipples, you're also stimulating your yoni, right? And so a lot of women from oral sex, when they're giving oral sex to a man, they're also getting aroused and stimulated, obviously, but a lot of women can squirt through deep throating. So again, that's because the meridians that's connected from the mouth to the nipples to the vagina, right? So again, everything is connected. Everything is connected.
Absolutely. Yes. I see here some comments. Let's see. Do we have more? Oh yeah. So I'm trying to get him to the point where he can watch me masturbate and not feel jealous. Can you say, when you say jealous, because I know sometimes people could use the word jealous like literally or not literally. So like when you say jealous, could you say more about that in the comments? Because I'm interested in understanding that a little bit more. Because that's going to be if you mean it literally, that's going to be his work to unpack and to figure out and really to depatriarchize himself, right? And to stop, feeling like your body belongs to him, right? So that's a whole nother, that's his work to figure out. But
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and a lot of men do get intimidated. They get intimidated, they might feel jealous. So yeah, I would like her to expand on that if she means jealous specifically or intimidated. It's natural for a man to get intimidated because a lot of times men, they want to be the one giving you pleasure doing all of this. And so then I've had exes say to me, well, if you use that, then I can't do anything for you. I can't, give you any pleasure. And I'm like, of course you can. You're so different. I mean, you give me body, your body's with me, your warmth, your conversation, the intellect. This is just,
Yeah.
it's a machine.
Yeah.
Yes, it feels good, but it can't give me all that you can give me. So there's no reason to be intimidated. And I do
Love that.
yeah.
I love that you say that, right? Because again, even though I do think it'll be the man's work to sort of do his own decolonizing, right, around masculinity and manhood, right? But I also do think it's an opportunity for you to remind him and affirm him of what he does bring, right? To you romantically and sexually. And it is different, right? Like my self-love, the way that I love on myself, right? I would like for people around me to mirror that, right? But nobody's going to love me the way that I love me. It's all going to be different, right? And so I like that you said that yeah, like nothing wrong with affirming and saying like, hey, I like your back.
Right. Right.
I like this toy can't lift me up now, child. So come on,
I can't smack this on the ass. There's no smacking.
Yes, absolutely.
I can't grab my ass. Can't grab my ass.
Can't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely.
Right. So I just want to say hello to those who are coming on again. Hello, Lauren. Hello, Golden. Ava. Janelle. And she actually also says my partner also gets jealous when I masturbate. It makes him feel like I don't need or want him. Yeah. So anytime you have something like this, it's a great time to actually build a stronger connection. Because when you do communicate, you do talk, and you let them know, it's nothing personal. It has nothing to do with you. And like I said earlier, it's like, this can't give me everything that you give me. Sometimes I don't want this. And then you compliment him. You're like, and I love this about you. And this just makes me, when you do this, I get all juicy and wet.
Yeah.
And having that conversation and stroking their ego a little bit, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I know that sometimes we're like, oh, we don't want to do that. But no, I mean, that's also our feminine energy, and everybody wants to feel good. You like compliments.
Absolutely.
Like your partner likes compliments. So ain't nothing wrong. Give your partner a little compliment so they don't feel intimidated or jealous.
Right. Absolutely.
And that could be an opportunity for both of you to even grow closer and connect. I've had partners who, after me talking and explaining, they'll use it on me. They'll get a vibrator and they get all excited. And then I use my vibrator on the guys. Ooh, especially this one. Oh my God. I love it. The first time can I play with you? And they look at this and they be like, well, And I'm like, just relax.
Right.
Like, they be like, oh, they loving it.
Yes, and I think too, in terms of certain toys specifically can intimidate, more masculine centered partners. So like that, I've been in experiences where I pull my wand out and then, what the fuck is this? What we doing with this? Right? Where this is going, right? And I'm like, we're only working with this part right here. It's not, the whole, thing, right? So certain toys can be, especially when they mimic penises, if they're bigger and your partner, may not be as big, they may fit, it brings up a lot, right? But it's an opportunity to heal, right? And to have real conversations, right? And about our traumas. So many of us, and again, I want to go back to your earlier question, right? Because again, like so many of us are having sex with people and we're not even aware of like the traumas that they come into the sexual relationships with, right? So many of our brothers have been sexually violated and they don't tell us, you know what I mean? So there's a whole plethora of shit that can come up when you start to choose yourself in front of your partner, when they've been taught that you shouldn't choose you as a woman, right? That like you should not love and choose you. It can bring up a whole bunch of shit. So yeah.
That is so true, because I mean the truth of the matter is there's a lot of men out there who haven't done their healing work, and they have so much trauma. There's a lot of women who haven't either. But on a whole, there's more women doing the work than men. And so it's like they have so much stuff that's coming up. And so this is why the masturbation is important. And, you know, even in my lingam massage course and the Yoni massage course that I teach, not only am I teaching you to do it on your partner, but for yourself. So if you're a man and you have a lingam, you know, you're learning new techniques to do this lingam massage on yourself to heal. And not that you're just jacking off and you're like watching porn and you're not connected to your body. So this is an opportunity to connect to your body. And the same thing with women. I have so many women that join my Yoni massage course because they want to learn how to self-touch, self-explore. Because again, I'm doing the whole body, right? Not just the genitals. And it becomes healing. And so, you know, these are just so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, let's talk about the healing. Do you? I don't know if you ever use crystals or anything like that. Crystal quartz, wands. And so when we're talking about masturbation and healing, these are also really important. There's so many different. There's obsidian. Obsidian is really good if you have traumas. Black. I actually do have an obsidian, but it's further in. I just moved, so my stuff is still kind of all over. I found these. Rose quartz is for love. Amethyst is good for connecting with your crown chakra, your intuition. So it depends on what you want to work on, right? So for me, if I need to open up my heart chakra and I know that there's a block, I'm going to pull out my crystal quartz, my rose quartz. Sorry, this is pink. So I'm going to pull out my rose quartz. It's pink. And, you know, and as I'm masturbating with it, and I also love this because it's a little heavy, so it gives you some weight, and that feels really good. And the temperature kind of changes as well, you know, when it's in you. So I like this. And I'm thinking about opening up my heart chakra. I'm thinking about connecting to love, the love that's within me, opening up so I can receive more love. I can give more love. Yeah. And that's so healing when you know that there's something that you need to work on. If you have traumas from the past, abuse or rape or anything, get an obsidian quartz or wand and use that. And think of the healing, think of releasing that healing, you know, and letting that go. And so, you know, so this is a really, really, really great to masturbate with and work on specific things that you want to heal.
So I have not specifically worked with crystal wands. So but I'm here's the thing. I am not really into penetration. For me, is kind of like, if I do it, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But it's not, it doesn't drive me in the same way. Like some people is like, I got to be massaged and touch. I'm, you know, on the inside, touch me on the inside parts, but I'm not, that's not a driving force for me per se. Right. So because of that, I haven't been able to really get into a lot of toys that really require, or not, I mean, because I imagine you can still use that, you know, to do a lot of vulva work. But I have not gotten into that. So I'm actually open to learning from you, right? A practice on that, because that's not something that I tried the Yoni eggs and I was like, I don't know. Wasn't able to get into it. I was just like, what is this what we going crazy about? I don't know. I was like, am I doing something wrong? What is this?
Yeah. But I definitely do one-on-one. I do individual sessions. And so what I would do, I get a lot of women who have that. I have a lot of women. I've had women who came to me with vaginismus, with painful intercourse, felt nothing. And so that is something that we could definitely work on. I do a lot of vaginal mapping to see what you're holding in there, what we need to release, because our vagina, the vaginal canal, right? It holds on to traumas. It holds on to different things. And so if you look at, there's like a reflexology map. You have the heart, which is at the near the cervix at the top of the vagina. You have the liver. The liver is connected to anger. You have the kidneys. The kidneys is connected to fear. The spleen is in there. That's worry. So you have all of those, the different organs within the vaginal canal. And so along with that, you have all of the different emotions. And so it's important to go through and release that and then get to the work where you can do with the crystals. I also do Yoni breathing. I use Yoni breathing in individual sessions as well to release a lot of the traumas that's stored in the Yoni. There's a lot of work that can be done. And again, like I said earlier, even with all of this information on YouTube, on Google, we're not accessing because we don't know what to look for. But, it's common. So when women come to me, yeah, we can do Yoni breathing. We could work. I can, walk you through vaginal mapping and all of these different things so we can release those traumas that's within there and get you healed so that you can feel pleasure with penetration. Whether it's penetration with the penis or with a dildo or with the wand or Yoni egg, Yoni eggs are very healing as well.
Yeah.
So goddess imagines tarot and yoga. Sometimes I forget English because I be talking Portuguese all the time. Imagines, is that right? I had an obsidian and Yoni. What's a Yoni?
I think they meant Yoni egg because it looks like they, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, she corrected Yoni egg. And it really helped me heal a lot of womb trauma. Yes, those are really good. And not only that, like I do Yoni steams as well.
Okay.
So a lot of times you can do a whole like ritual. You can masturbate, do Yoni steam, then put in the Yoni egg, and just get some real loving to your womb, and to your, and becoming more feminine and just connecting. So there's so many different things you could do, so for that womb healing. And then A. Janelle says, I have a rose quartz wand. Let me just say, Alexis, I will use it on my vulva and meditate with it over my heart, but I don't enjoy penetrating myself with it. Okay, yeah. So, so basically like, what I was saying earlier, and that may be some work to do to release the traumas that might be within the vagina to help you get to the point if that's where you want to get, but yes, you don't have to put the Yoni eggs or wands inside. You can put it over your heart like Alexis does, and do many different things. So Healing Jordite says, I haven't been able to enjoy sex for a while. The anatomy of my vagina is very small, so penetrating hurts. Girl, listen, you can enjoy sex even if there's a lot of women with small vaginal entrances. It's teaching the man what to do. It's also because a lot of men don't know what they're doing and they're pumping and they're pounding and all of this. And it is also working with you, girl, call me. Working with you through deep breathing, different techniques to relax a little bit more. There's the little things that I teach because our mouth is connected. So there's some things that I teach with using your mouth to open up the vagina as well. So there's some great things that I could work with you on. I was in a relationship for 3 years and only had one real orgasm. Yeah, Healing Jordite, you need to message me. Message me. Because you should not have only had one orgasm.
Absolutely.
It should not hurt. Penetration should not hurt. So hit me up. I do offer free consultations. Actually, I can put it in here where you can schedule. I'll put that link on my YouTube so that you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation and we could talk about what's going on to help you.
So Lisa says, so glad you're talking about this. So interesting that our vaginas hold our feelings. Absolutely. Yeah. They sure do. They sure do.
They really do. They really do. And I do want to give a shout out to Elisa. Thank you for being on here. She is an amazing singer. Um, she just did a live herself, and her voice had me in tears. Had me
Mm.
in tears. Let me just type this in real quick. Okay, I'm just putting the link for you to schedule your free consultation with me. Healing Jordite. Do that now. Do that now. Copy and paste that. Put that in and set up an appointment because no one should be having pain. Everyone, pleasure is your birthright. And it
Absolutely.
does not matter what type of anatomy you have. You should be able to feel pleasure, you know? Yes, you're welcome, Elisa. That was so good. It was so good, her live. You guys follow Elisa Sanders on Facebook or Alyssa Sanders on Instagram. Girl, put in your Instagram because your voice is so healing. It's so amazing. I was actually, when I was watching, I was thinking about having you come on my live and maybe singing some stuff like for healing, maybe doing different music to stimulate different emotions. That's what I was thinking when I was watching your live today. So if you're down, if you're interested in that, let's set up a live.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, just a quick little, guys, if you are not following Mystik, follow Mystik. Hit them up on Instagram at Souls and G Spots or Home Girl Help Hotline. Yes, connect. So do you have anything going on? Like, let us know. Do you have anything going
So
on?
at this time, no, my greatest contribution to society right now is working on myself. So right now I just do a lot like content creating and stuff like that. So I would say definitely follow me on Instagram at Souls and G Spots. And then my other platform, Homegirl Help Hotline, where I post content a lot about talking about friendships and dynamics between women and femmes and how to sort of overcome the traumas and different things that prevent us from being able to really connect. So I have a lot of tough and controversial conversations over there on that platform. But yeah, right now I'm in school, so that takes a lot of my energy, and so I'm just really focusing on myself and trying to get through this doctorate program so that I can try to be done with this within the next 4 years, so that I can have a baby because I want to be a mom.
So I love that, you're 30 years old, you're on this healing journey, this sexual healing journey. And sexual healing is the most powerful healing that you can do because our sexual energy is our vital life force energy.
Absolutely.
Right? And so with that, you can do whatever you want. That energy helps you to finish your doctorate, your school.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's times you just need to masturbate to help give you the energy to continue your classes.
Listen to read sometimes because a lot of what I'm learning. So I'm studying human sexuality right now, and it's no secret that a lot of these programs, there are only 2 doctorate programs in the United States that offer a doctorate in human sexuality. And we know that our institutions are very Eurocentric, white focused, right? And so sometimes I read about stuff that I don't care about. And so it's draining. And so definitely touching myself and creating time to love on myself it's important so that I can feel inspired to keep going because it's hard and I don't always want to do this program. I've thought about dropping out maybe about 10 times and I've only been there for a year. So yeah. So
Healing Jordite says also, I was introduced to sex at a young age and that made me overly sexual and it desensitized my clitoris over the years. It's hard to feel pleasure with my vulva. We're going to get you back. Girl, I got you. We're going to get you back. Because
probably, I was just going to say too, more specifically than desensitizing, you probably have disassociated from the pleasure in your clitoris because especially if trauma is there, right? It's not that it's desensitized. It's just you totally disconnected from it. So
exactly, exactly. That's it, Mystik. Maybe I need to do this human sexuality program you're doing. Listen, I am such a student-aholic, study-aholic. I am always studying, always getting some type of certification or course. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds good too. Get a doctorate in it. I have my master's.
Well, I don't want to discourage you. I mean, to each his own, but you know, I don't know. To each his own.
I feel you. I mean, honestly, like, for me, and I understand that, like, getting a doctorate won't necessarily, I will learn some more stuff, but it won't necessarily open up other doors to do something different. Like, I'm already able to do what I have. I have a master's. I have a postgraduate degree here in Brazil. I did a 2-year Tantric certification plus many years on top of that, doing the work, living in a Tantra commune, and so I have, like, all of my training and everything I've done equals up to be more than a doctorate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so again, that's why I'm kind of just like, to each his own. It's a pathway that for whatever reason my ancestors wanted me to take, and I'm still trying to understand why they want me to take this pathway, but they wanted me to do it. And so I'm trying to follow through. But honestly, I think what you do is worth more than because I'm learning from you. You brought me on, right? And I'm here learning from you, right? So and I'm very honored, right? So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So this was really great. I feel like we could really go on and keep talking more. I swear an hour is not enough time. But it's not. But guys, you can hit me up. Thank you everyone who came on, who participated. If you came on late, go ahead and catch the replay, because there was some really great information on here. And if you got something out of this, share this, because someone else will get something out of this. This was some gems in here. This was some great information. So share this, because you might help somebody else who have painful sex or don't have a blockage with masturbating. So I really feel like there could be a part 2, that there could be so much more to go into with this, and we really just kind of touched the surface. But also want to let you know, I have my lingam massage course coming up September 20th. That begins September 20th. Is going to be virtual. It's a 4-week course where I'm going to be teaching lingam massage. And so this is for anyone who wants to learn how to do self-exploration on themselves if they have a lingam, which means penis, or if you're someone who wants to learn how to do it on someone else that has a penis, and you really want to up your hand game, your hand job game, right? And listen, it's really great, and it's really deep. Like, you really learn some things, and it's really beyond just learning a hand job game. It's about learning how to connect to your partner. It's about learning how to connect to yourself, how to feel your body. This is also good. I teach breathing techniques with it. So even people who have premature ejaculation or have difficulty with erection, the lingam massage helps with that. So there's so many different healing things that the lingam massage helps with. Then my next course, I'm going to be starting the first week in October, is going to be the Yoni massage. For all the people that have a Yoni. So again, you can learn it to do it on yourself, or you can learn it to do on a partner. So that's going to be coming up the first weekend of October. And I got the lingam massage. So if you guys are interested, hit me up. I'm on Instagram at Prandhara Prem_Tantra. You can find me on Twitter or Facebook at Renee Adolphe. I also have a Patreon. If you want to support me, guys, this is my birthday month. So,
yes.
I am accepting, Cash App. Cash Apps. I'm gonna have to put that on there. But also, if you want to support me, and this is also Mystics, put your Cash App on there, because we gave some really good information. Patreon, and help her go to get through school. Patreon/Prandhara Prem. I got some great tips on Tantra and self-exploration. So join me on Patreon. And
Yes.
then I'm on Clubhouse at Prandhara Tantra. So yeah, hit us up. So let me give you Golden says, I am interested in a Tantra training program. Yes, message me. I do Tantra certifications. Okay, so I actually have one coming up, and I do that. So Golden says, I am scheduling a consultation as well. So let me get you this. If you guys enjoy this, I never do this. I know people watch my lives, and I never say, hey, hit us up, there's some Cash App. But this was really good, and it's both of our birthday months.
Absolutely.
She's
Yes.
about to be 30. I'm about to be 47. So if you want to Cash App 47 to me, Cash App 30 to her, or just $5 to give us energy to keep on going for our birthday month, we will accept it.
We will accept it. I appreciate it. I just want to say thank you to Elisa, who said that so you can write books. I've been told this so many times. People have prophesized to me that I'm gonna write books, and I'm like, oh, child, okay. So that future Black women will read about sexuality and relate to your. You will speak on this subject for our ancestors. Thank you. I received that.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, and so it is.
Ashe. Well, thank you. I am so honored to have joined you, for you to invite me on to come and share myself with your audience. I look forward to connecting with you all on Souls and G Spots. And next year, my time is coming to build up my things that I'm supposed to be doing in my offerings to people. And so definitely stay connected to me on Instagram, and you'll see more to come.
Yes. I can't wait to see how you develop and grow and what you're going to start doing when you finish your doctorate program. So thank you guys. And Golden, if you're still on, my Calendly link to schedule is up there. It's if you scroll up, you can schedule. And yeah, so thank you guys again. I'm so excited. Our birthday month, September, Virgo's in the house, Libra's in the house. So this month, the lives are going to be great. Catch me next week as well. Next week, who do I have coming on? Lockness, Goodness, Lock Goddess, something. I'm so sorry. Oh, she's not watching. I'm messing up her name. But anyway, she's going to be on with me. And so I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful night and love you guys.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.